question.
It is. It's a difficult question, and actually I think it's a rather easy one at the same time. I think religion is a culturally defined value system that hierarchically preconcedes the world for us. And I'm talking in a very general term. If I am a Christian, I am raised to believe that there are certain goods and certain bads, and the highest is salvation, and the lowest is damnation. And so there is a hierarchical placement of things, of goals, and then a hierarchical placement of methods. And unfortunately, what also happens is a hierarchical placement of people in the process. And I think most religions do that. Monastic traditions are a bit different. And because of my years as a Hindu monk, I tend to see things not simply confined to the lay approach to religion. Another story. While I was in India shortly before I came back, Houston Smith contacted me. I got a letter from him asking me if I would be his interpreter and guide for a group of honor students that he was bringing to India. This is in the winter of '76. And I agreed. And he was in India for 3 months with this group. And I spent most of that time with them. And we traveled around to different areas. Houston also inspired me in the academic study of religion. And so he said, you should come. I had told him I had just that I had shortly returned from the second trip around the world with my teacher, and he asked me if I ever thought about returning to the West, and I told him what my teacher had said, and he says, "Oh, well, definitely you should go to school. You should get into the academic study of religion, and it'll be a real completion for you." And in that way, he was a real inspiration to me too, as a human being. Houston Smith is a wonderful, wonderful human, and to be able to spend 3 months, or most of 3 months, with him and his wife and his daughter and this group of people, his group of young scholars, was terrific. So then I was leaving to come back from India the second time, and Houston had written to me from Japan, saying, "Come see us." And I did, and I went, and I met I met Zen Buddhist monks there. And when they found out that I was a Hindu monk, immediately they opened their arms to me. And immediately we had a camaraderie because we had a similar approach to things. We had a certain basic understanding of life. And then came back to Hawaii, did a quick trip to California where my parents were to visit them. And I got there just before Palm Sunday. And my one closest cousin, who is a Catholic priest, knew I was coming in, said, "Let me pick you up at the airport, and I want to take you to this monastery in the desert." He picked me up at the LA airport, and we went out to this monastery in the desert. And when he introduced me to the abbot of the monastery and to the other monks as his monastic Hindu brother, they welcomed me with open arms and said, "You're welcome to stay with us as long as you wish." And just, the monastic communities share a great deal in common. And a lot of the infighting that happens between the orthodoxy of religious organizations tends to get washed away with most monks, with most people in monastic communities. They understand that the primary approach to salvation or liberation or God is an interior practice, and the external differences really are minimalized.